Hello, I'm ibxtoycat, and this week we had a Secret Realms update that no one knew about until a couple of days ago, but we also had a secret feature in the form of strongholds now generating below Y0 far more often. In other words, being surrounded by deep slate, and Just a Friend says, I personally think they should just change the stone bricks to be deep slate bricks and tiles to match the theme, and maybe they should add the mossy variant of the deep slate block too. Honestly, I've been saying this since the start. I think that deep slate strongholds would look really cool, but rather than just taking my word for it, how about we go to one now? Just a reminder, after 1.19.20, you're far more likely to find deep slate around your stronghold, and the same if you're digging through the deep slate, you might find a stone brick stronghold, but all we'd have to do is take every single stone brick in this thing, and if it generates below Y0, just, I don't know, take some of those blocks and say maybe they shouldn't be deep slate. Oh man, we use slightly too many in the area. Maybe just say there shouldn't be so many. There we go. This is what a deep slate stronghold would look like instead. I'm guessing these are monster. Yeah, these are infested bricks. But if you look at it, it fits the environment much better in my opinion. It still stands out. I mean, if we ignore these infested stone ones, but it still stands out, but it has this very interesting different effect to it. I've got to say, looking around this thing, ignoring the clear gaps where it's cobbled stone or it's infested bricks, this is a really smart and interesting look for a structure that could have been an interesting second variant. What if the ones that generate below deep slate had a few extra rooms too, and now you've got a second variant of the stronghold, which would be incredibly interesting. Even this end portal room, take a look at it now. Doesn't it add so much variety? I think it's interesting. I think Minecraft should consider updating more structures to have variants of them more often, but maybe that's just me. Oh, and if you want to know what else is crazy, while we're down here anyway, talking about how they fixed a bug, which was this not happening as much, and that's the reason that we're seeing them have these regular strongholds. But if you want to talk about something interesting, in my opinion, it's the fact that they confirm, you can see via these bug fixes, geodes and mineshafts are still not meant to generate in the deep dark cities. They still do generate, and they haven't fixed it yet, but they treat it as a bug, and it's kind of confusing to me because it's a cool part of Minecraft when structures collide. Don't you think so yourself? Well, if you're Mojang, you don't always think so. Every structure can collide besides ancient cities and mineshafts and geodes, which is kind of confusing if you ask me, because there's no bug report for strongholds, which means you can have a stronghold crossing there like we've seen before, just not any of those other structures. It's very weird, it doesn't make any sense, but let's talk about the Realms update, because the second question comes in from Gas for Money, who says, when will Mojang upgrade Realms in ways such as render distance? And the answer to that is David Cornerhard MC, the head of Realms, said that today was his birthday, and to celebrate, we're experimenting with increasing the Realms render distance to 12 chunks. All Bedrock Realms now have the new render distance, and we're planning on increasing Java Realms next week. This is seriously positive news, because now you get 20% more render distance, although it's actually more like 40% more render area because a sphere increases by more than just the... Whatever, you get the point. It's a big increase to render distance, and the reason that the render distance is capped at 10 or 12 chunks, even though your PC might be able to do 60 or 100 chunks, is because of the fact that it's obviously running on their hardware, their servers. It's running 24/7, and the more render distance you use, the more you're using up those resources. And so that is also why simulation distance has stayed at 4 chunks forever. It actually temporarily went up to 10 chunks a while back, but then they rolled it back almost immediately because people didn't like it. And so that's why Cornerhard has also confirmed that the last time we made a big change to Bedrock, it was increasing the simulation distance from 4 to 10 chunks, which was a much bigger performance impact, and then adding that when we are ready to increase the simulation distance for Realms, we'll likely give the owner control and the ability to reduce sim, which I think is really important. I think Realms having a fixed simulation distance is kind of silly. Even right now, I think you should be able to go up to 10 chunks as an option. Maybe if you really want to charge people for that, for the extra resources they're using. I don't know how you should do that, but I think it is kind of silly that it's capped, because there are going to be times that you want things to happen in areas that are outside the 64 by 64 area where you're currently standing, and yeah, I think that's my personal take there, but I do think it's objectively great that they've just improved the Realms render distance. They could leave it where it was forever and it'd be perfectly fine, but I'm glad that they want you to be able to see more of these beautiful environments like the one that Cornerhard even showed off himself, and I think that is a really good improvement. Just like how Neocolak says, what Minecraft needs, in my opinion, is a mid-game update. Getting to the Ender Dragon is the main goal of Minecraft, and now you can go and kill the dragon in minutes from creating the world. He then adds that the Elytra needs a nerf, as well as other types of movements needing a buff, such as special horse skills or faster rails, because currently the fastest you can go rails is nothing. I totally actually agree with all of that. I think that Minecraft focuses a lot on early game and sometimes on late game content. I think a lot more mid-game stuff would be a really good idea. I think allays kind of fit in there, but they don't necessarily have enough use. I think you could maybe argue the frog lights are a special type of that, but I'm not sure people are specifically aiming for it. And so Minecraft could do more content that are just medium-sized goals that you could achieve in a few hours that are worth aiming towards. I think when Minecraft is filled with those, people are happy. There's always going to be people who take it to the next level and want to make a netherite beacon or whatever else. But I think people having more reasonable goals that they can choose to aim for is a good thing, and I think a lot of people would benefit from something like that. Just like how, by the way, also I think minecart speeds definitely need to go up. I think it was title update 11 for Minecraft Xbox 360 where they just said, yeah, we'll double the speed of minecarts. And you know what's happened since then? The Minecraft Xbox 360 community had one of the best minecart map communities out there, and that just kind of went away when the console edition died, because Bedrock and Java both have a significantly slower rail speed that just isn't fun. It doesn't make great roller coasters. It doesn't make for great... I don't know why no one's looked at that and said, yeah, we could up that. Also, even though I don't think you should nerf the Elytra because that would make people upset, but I do think that you should give every other type of movement a little bit of a buff so they're more competitive with it. I think the only thing that comes close right now is the Blue Ice Boat, and that's such a pain to get going sometimes compared to just flying around, so definitely agree it should be buffed. Also, speaking of things that should be buffed, CA1EB says, 621, Toycat, what are you doing? You left the golden apple in the chest. This is referring, of course, to my Update Out Now video, and in that video I was playing what I think is the hardest Minecraft seed yet as far as a challenge from the spawn. I really enjoyed my time on it, but the reason I left the golden apple is because I'm an idiot. There's no good reason. I don't know how I didn't see it looking back. Also looking back, yeah, the video did look really rough when I opened menus because I had to turn the exposure way up so you can actually see the darkness. I think Minecraft has a real problem with low light vision, and I get that you're not meant to be able to see in the dark, but sometimes you have to do things in the dark, and maybe it should be better if it's more vibrant and visible, or maybe I'm crazy. Speaking of ways in which I'm crazy, oh wow, I got a really interesting comment from this ibxtoycat fella who says, wow, that IBX keyring is really cool. Where would I get one for myself? Yeah, I do love this IBX keyring thing. It was custom made. It's really, really wonderful. And here's the best bit. It isn't just something that only I can own, although maybe, you know, that's the better way we should do products. But actually, you can get your hands on one for yourself, and it costs just $9.99 plus shipping over at makeshift.com/link in the description. You can get one for yourself, and it is a limited time offer. There is only 3 weeks you can order one of these. Then the orders are shut down forever. We manufacture them, we ship them out, and they'll be with you later this year. And if you want to get your hands on a limited piece of history, this little IBX toy keyring is probably the last in the trilogy of fun makeshift plushes that I'm going to be making. It's the cheapest, it's the most affordable, it's the one that is smallest and most reasonable to go with your day-to-day life. I love mine because I needed something for my keyrings. I've got these annoying keys here that are so sharp and keep bashing into my phone. Having a big plush, really well stuffed, by the way. Again, for $9.99, I'm so impressed with the quality on this thing. Even got the cute little Easter egg on the back. But yeah, if you want to get one for yourself, go to Makeshift. This is a plug for my own merch if you haven't worked out. But the next question is not a plug for my own merch, because Dragon Master says, I hate the new UI screen. Are we still doing face cam? Yes, we are. For creating a new world, does anyone know a way to change it back? And the answer to that is the new UI screen, also known as dark mode, according to people in my comment section, is that there is no way to change back the old screen. The way they're rolling it out right now, this brand new menu screen is randomly, if you're on a platform that supports it, you're just going to get the new UI screen. It's going to look like this, and you might like that. However, I think it's really annoying that the game gives you no way, that it's frustrating as heck that there's no way to go back. No matter how much you hate this new menu screen, you can't just temporarily go back because they're slowly trying to roll it out for everyone. But I think that is a terrible idea, and my reason I think it's terrible is because they haven't fully even rolled it out for the people that do have it. So this is what the menu screen looks like until you load up Minecraft using this menu screen, and then when you go to your pause screen, it's the old menu still. If you use the new menu, you have to use both at the same time, and it's so silly in my opinion. How did it take them so many years to roll out a menu screen and then not even roll it out all the way? They rolled it out for one set of menus without all of the features necessarily included there at first, and then it took them this many years to roll it out for half of the players failures, and then it's not even available all of the time. I don't understand the inefficiency of the bureaucracy at Mojang if it takes them this many years to just alter the look of a menu screen. They didn't add new features. It would have been cool. They added new explanations for things, but they didn't add new functionality. It took them this many years to add a slightly new look. The version we saw 5 years ago, yeah, it was literally 2017 or 2018. It looked so much cooler, and I don't know how we got it worse, and we got it irreversible, and they didn't even roll it out to the entire game. What? You know, like, I really want to be on the side of, okay, you know, we say that Mojang, as a company, it's, there's hundreds of people working on it, but they're all working on specific things, and honestly, things are harder than you assume. Programming in a new mob, it just takes 6 months sometimes, and I want to believe that, and then when you see that something that you know, that, like, should not take 5 years, takes 5 years, something you know that should not even probably take 5 months, takes months just to be rolled out, that's when you know that something is wrong in the processes of this company. If, like, they're measuring the data so closely that you can't add a new menu screen without going through this many months. Do you know, like, the years of employment some people must have gone through, people have left before this project is completed, and this is, like, to me, one of the craziest things about what is happening there right now is, the fact that there must be features like this that are stuck in Minecraft hell. I mean, again, we can say, if we look at the bug fixes, they really don't want geodes or mineshafts to spawn in strongholds. They just haven't, spawn in ancient cities. They just haven't gone through the effort of fixing it. The same with mobs spawning in the ancient city. We just had 2 bug fix updates now, 1.19.10, 1.19.20, and mobs still spawn in the deep dark. The whole point of the biome is that no mobs spawn in the deep dark. Why? I don't understand, Mojang. What? Can we not have priorities? Can we not have priorities here? Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe there's no priority besides, by the way, Box02's comment actually made me angry, but after that last rant, I got it out of myself, so it's fine. They said, why would you make an 8-minute video for something that could have been a 35-second changelog? And this is, at first this actually made me angry reading it, then I realized, oh, they're referencing the line in the video where I said, because there are lots of people who always say, when you make a video about an update, this could have been shorter, this could have been one screenshot, this could have been a 35-second rundown on the changelog, and it's like, but you wouldn't have wanted that, would you? You watched this 8-minute video because you thought to yourself, I'd like to hear what Toycat has to say about this update. You didn't think to yourself, I want to learn the 5 features in this update, then immediately get out. You might have thought that, but probably not, because otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on the 8-minute video and left the comment. I do think there's issues with pacing in videos sometimes, especially news videos. It's hard to know, should you go into every feature in case someone cares, or should you just give the broad strokes, the things you find most interesting? But yeah, I think that it's crazy that, like, people always say this video could have been shorter, and the reality is people want more video, they just want it to be better video, and that's what you're really saying with that. Just like how Moves is saying, so how did the experiment go? Which one made more money? I assume tips, honestly, but maybe YouTube made a genuine reason to run ads, you never know. So in case you're curious as to what this is talking about, I did a stream where I requested specifically that people not tip, because I wanted to see if we just run ads every, time YouTube recommends, plus a few more. So instead of a stream having 2 ads and then saying, hey, this is funded by tips, saying, okay, we're going to fund this entirely by ads, and there'll just be 10 of them or 12 of them or whatever it was. However, here's the crazy thing. I've got like a proper side-by-side comparison. The don't tip on this stream made, I can't talk about exact numbers. I have to round up because I have a contract my network not to talk about it. But if you look at the revenue, it turns out that the overwhelming majority, literally 90%, came from tips anyway. Which, like, okay, there was no notification for it on the screen, anything. Just people deciding, like, yeah, I'll give some tips. And the entire stream, which took multiple hours, and despite having 10 ads and almost 1,000 viewers, it made $20 in ad revenue. Again, that's an estimate. That is not the precise figure down to the 10th of a cent, but it made $20 in ad revenue and so as a result, bear in mind, for 2 hours of 1,000 people getting 10 ads each on average, $20, which actually I guess makes sense when you do the maths, but it also got 10,000 views after the fact, and a lot of those 500 people cycled in and out. So with 10,800 views at 10 ads, basically it makes no financial sense to run ads on a stream outside of the times that YouTube does it, when you first get into the stream and when you leave a stream, and sometimes in between. There is no reason to do so, because it seems as though you don't get paid the same amount per ad. In fact, you don't even get paid this anymore. It just, your ad rates go significantly down, and I don't understand that fully. Speaking of things I don't understand fully, why do we have face cam still? The reason I don't like it is because my microphone's over here, and so I'm talking slightly in the wrong. If I talk into the microphone, I look like I'm ignoring you, and I get cut off by this edge of the camera. And if I talk over here, it sounds slightly worse. So we'll move into audio only again, everyone's favorite thing. For the next question, this one comes in from Courtney Clichin, who says, how do you turn off the Create New World UI for Nintendo Switch? Well, you see, the UI is not so good that they want to roll out to everyone, but it is so good that they think that you shouldn't be able to turn it off, and so you cannot is the official answer to this one. Just like how this next question says, how is giving people more tools to work with removing creativity? And this is a really interesting point about, you would figure the most creative thing you can do is give someone all the tools they need to do everything humanly possible. However, it seems as though the trend, this is a really interesting point in the world of like art versus business. In the world of business, having all the tools you can is the most important thing. In the world of art, it seems as though the more constraints you add people, the more creativity you can actually end up expressing. I mean, the rise of hardcore series on YouTube where people are going super far to try and do crazy things in hardcore Minecraft, there's no reason playing on hardcore is easier. It's just that people like overcoming this challenge. The same with trying to build something using only randomly generated or only using 2 or 3 blocks. It is a big challenge, and that's why I really enjoy playing the Super Flat Survival. That's why a lot of people love playing with a limited set of tools, and that is why in general adding vertical slabs or adding quarter blocks or 8th blocks or 16th blocks like they do in the chisel mods actually has less creativity. You can make the perfect product easier, which means there is less, there are fewer interesting ways to get there, just like how Diego Marzarella has interesting ways for me to get to the question of, have you checked out the bite? It might have rabies. I just wanted to give a fun update. By the way, my finger is entirely fine now, that it is healed. I've taken my antibiotics and I didn't have any of the signs the doctor told me to urgently look out for. However, did you know there was basically a 0% chance of me having rabies, because rabies does not exist in the UK. The full history on why is kind of confusing, but as soon as rabies started outbreaking in other countries, the UK just said, okay, every pet has to be quarantined for XYZ amount of time. You need to have like a vaccination record and this and that. And long story short, there are no rabies in the UK outside of bats. If I get bitten by a bat, I'm like terrified. Rabies is a horrifying illness, and it's like there's like tens of thousands of people who catch it every year. And so if you ever think to yourself, man, times sure are bad, man, I do wish that I could change my menu screen. Just remember, the new menu screen is not as bad as getting rabies. That is something I'd like to sign on to right now. And while we're talking about weird British quirks, like the rabies only being in bats, Luke Jacobs asks, so you can be on someone's private property and they can't do anything about it. So, yeah, I mentioned in a YouTube story, I think, that trespassing is not a crime in the UK. It's a civil tort, I think is the explanation, meaning that if someone causes you damage by trespassing, you can sue them for the money, but they're not going to go to prison just because they trespassed. However, breaking and entering still is a crime. Getting onto someone's land without permission is still a crime. And so that's why, for instance, 24-hour challenges are effectively legal if you don't get caught. You entered IKEA in a legal way, it's just you didn't leave and they didn't know they should kick you out. And it leads to these very funny situations. There's this YouTube channel I watch that takes strong advantage of the lack of trespassing laws in the UK to like go into businesses at night, like and what they do is if they need to take something, they're very careful not to steal something, because stealing is a crime. They'll leave money on the counter for the tea they're taking or the food they're eating or whatever else to make sure that they're not committing any actual crimes. They're just and the only way they could be sued for it is if it was proven they were doing any damage. And it's very hard to prove that you're doing damage to, say, IKEA or to a trampoline park or a water park by being there overnight when they're not using it anyway. The only damage you're doing is, like, I guess if you got really injured, you could probably sue them for that, but that's like, is there a legal damage for the fact that you might do legal damage to someone else? I don't think there is, and so there you go. Trespassing in the UK is sort of legal, except if you're trespassing on the Queen's property, where it's a crime again, because we live in a monarchy, and that's fun. Speaking of monarchies, by the way, I have an interesting update on Let's Play 551. A lot of people have been curious about this, because I mentioned it's the biggest Let's Play I've ever recorded. It was such a big Let's Play that even though I got it done with quite a few days spare, I think think it was 4 days before upload day, just to make sure we could get it done. Everything we tried, we could not get it rendered and uploaded. However, we do have a solution, and it's kind of ridiculous. It involves transferring 70 gigabytes of files to me. I'm now rendering them overnight. I'm going to try and get it onto YouTube tomorrow afternoon so that it's processed sometime by tomorrow night or Monday morning. And then that means that although the Let's Play will be a week late, you should be able to enjoy the biggest ever and definitely worst ever Let's Play episode on Monday. I'm looking forward to everyone's reaction to it. Don't worry, it's more than 2 weeks worth of Let's Play in there, so you should enjoy it. Anyway, that is going to be coming out on Monday, and I hope that you look forward to that. You can also look forward to tonight, because if you remember, one of the challenges I could just never do back in my Can I Do Minecraft Without X days is can I beat Minecraft without eating? If I'm not mistaken, hunger has gotten a little bit less intense since then, and also there's been a Nether update, so getting blaze rods and ender pearls is a little bit easier, and so I'm thinking to myself that maybe after all these years, it might just be possible. You can see my live stream attempt tonight, where I'll be, of course, plugging the IBX toy keyring a lot, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. Hope that I see some of you there. I think I plugged like 3 separate things this video, so I hope you enjoy the new area of Corporate Toycat, where I just say, hey, you buy my keyring, watch my videos, watch my streams, watch my other videos. Seed Sunday tomorrow is going to be interesting. But in all seriousness, I hope you'll enjoy this video. I hope you enjoyed the 90% that wasn't me plugging a thing. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, because I'll see you later. Goodbye.